When building modern web applications, it's common to need to communicate with servers to send or receive data. HTTP requests allow us to fetch data from external sources like APIs or send data to a server, like user information in a form. The Fetch API is a modern, flexible way to make these HTTP requests in JavaScript. Let's dive in and see how it works. The Fetch API uses a simple syntax to make HTTP requests. Here's the basic structure. Fetch takes a URL as its argument and returns a promise that resolves to the response object. In this example, we are fetching data from an API from baconipsum.com, a website that allows you to make fetch calls and return some dummy text. We are using the .then method to handle the response. As you might have guessed already, fetch is an async function and therefore its response is a promise. So let's break it down. Fetch call itself, this sends the HTTP request to the URL. Then, when the response comes back, we convert it into text, and after parsing the response, we log the data to the console over here. In case of any error, it is logged to the console using this line, using .catch. Let's see that in action. See, it brought back all this text from the API and logged it to the console. Often when making requests, we get data back in form of JSON. JSON or JavaScript object notation is a lightweight data format used to send and receive data between a client or browser and a server. Once you start using JavaScript properly, you would most definitely be working with JSON. JSON strings look like this. They look very much like JavaScript objects, but they are not. They are strings. The JavaScript Fetch API makes it very easy to handle this data with its .json method. So let me show you an example. Here we are fetching a list of posts from a sample API. Once the data is returned, we use .json function to pass the response, turning it into a JSON object that we can work with. Let me show you. So they are all fake posts from this API. Note we could also use async await for a cleaner syntax when dealing with the asynchronous code. So let me get to it. So this is the same code but using async await, and we are using await here. So it's gonna call fetch on the URL, same URL, call response.json once we get its response, and then it's going to console log the post. And it's using try catch to handle the errors. Let's see how it works. See, same result. Very straightforward, right? Okay, sometimes when dealing with external APIs, things don't always go as planned. Sometimes you get errors like a 404 not found or a 500 internal server error. It's crucial to handle those errors to improve user experience. So let me demonstrate how to do that. So here's an improved version of the same get post function, and you can see we are checking if not response.ok. So if we didn't get a proper response, we are going to throw an error, which is going to get it out of this try block and go straight to this console.error, where this error message is going to be printed with response.status and response.status text. So response object has status and status text properties to give you the status code with which the fetch call failed, as well as any status text sent from the server explaining what went wrong. And that, folks, wrap up this JavaScript crash course. We have covered a ton of topics, but we were just able to scratch the surface. Each topic we covered is a world of its own, but what we covered was enough to get you started. We'll cover the gap in our full-length JavaScript course on Learn Awesome. JavaScript is all about practice. The more you build, the more you learn. So keep experimenting, keep coding, and most importantly, keep having fun with it. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more awesome content. We have lots of videos on interesting topics you might like full stack development, AI prompt engineering, and many more. So don't forget to check it out. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to help. That's it for now. Stay curious, keep coding, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.